All right, welcome kings and queens. Today we're talking SWV and Escape. I love this show. I like it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And I'm also enjoying reviewing it. It's not often that we get like intricate details of girl groups, boy groups, and maybe post retirement. But it's not often that they come back out and we get to follow their journey, see their highs, their lows, ups and downs. So I really like this. And this week's episode picked up from where they left off last week at Tamika's and Latasha's mother's home. And they continue the conversation of the $30,000 that was taken from Tamika by Latasha and her husband. And the mother's yelling that Tamika needs to get counseling. I found that pretty pathetic. Your daughter needs to get counseling because she's sharing her truth, her raw feelings about what happened to her. So as a result, your response is she needs to get counseling. Okay. I feel like the mother she wants to hide the sin when she says, so you're going to bring this crap up right now? Miss Gloria, let me tap you on your shoulder and tell you that you are holding your daughter hostage emotionally. And she told her daughter, and if you're so tired of this, then how come you ain't come to talk to me about it? Ma'am, that's the wrong approach in this moment. Your job in that moment was to nurture her when she needed you. Your job in that moment was to be there for her. Your job was to just be a sounding board and to not choose a side, Miss Gloria. That's your job. Because what it seems to me is that you want her to tuck in her frustration and her pain so that she can save you and Latasha. That's a heavy load for anybody to carry. Let me sacrifice myself so that you are okay. Does this sound familiar, ladies? When we talk about prioritizing self, some men, does this sound familiar? The unreasonable expectation sometimes within family dynamics. All right. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. So I want to talk a little bit about SWV and their family dynamics. I want to start with Coco and her son. They are twins to the end. They are twins to the end. I just love the engagement and interaction that she has with both her son and her mom. I love the fact that she gave us a walk down memory lane to kind of say, this is how I grew up. Here's my background. This is how my mother raised me. Gave us a brief overview of both of her sons. One of them does like emo rap. I don't know what that is, but it's some sort of rap. And then her son, who wants to follow in her footsteps as a trailblazer, and just kind of take up singing like his mother, which she's shocked to hear, right? Because she thought he wanted to be a dentist. Now, it seems like in episode 3, which is next week's episode, they're going to give us a little bit more about who he is and what he seems to be struggling with at the tender age of 19. So I am looking forward to reviewing that and really getting to know him as an adolescent. Now, Candy, I like that little Gucci outfit, that short set that you had on. That was cute. Must be nice. I really love Candy's dynamic with her employees. I think based on what I've seen from Candy over the years, I'm going to have to assume she's a pretty good boss because people seem to respond very well to her. So I think Candy's an excellent boss, not by personal experience. I'm just reading the room, right? When I've seen her on Real Housewives of Atlanta, the restaurant, all the shows that they have, Candy and the Gang, all of that. So that's nice. Let's go to Lily. Damn, I did not realize that Lily got pregnant at age 15. That's so freaking young. I had no idea that when SWV came out, that they were teens. I was a teen, but I thought they were grown women. It's so crazy what the music industry does to kids because they dress those girls up so much that I thought they were women when they first came out. Did y'all know they were teenagers, or did y'all think they were women like I did? And maybe that's my ignorance. So then we go to Tiny, right? Tiny's making drinks and all of that. Did Tiny say she has 5 homes? Oh, wow. The black wealth of it all. Yes, come on, Black excellence. Come on, Black excellence. I really appreciate it. See, now that's how you show out. You see what I'm saying? That's how you kind of brag about the Black excellence and the things that we're able to pull through some of these reality shows. Great job, bravo. Now, okay, so I'm going to jump back to the scene that took place at Miss Gloria's house. So Miss Gloria finally, after Latasha leaves, this is crazy to see dynamics like that. I almost said she failed to render aid to her daughter, Tamika. And that's the wrong word. But because it sounds so sterile and so disconnected. But I feel like, ma'am, if I had not known any better, it would have been hard to tell that both of them were your daughters. Because you stood strong on Latasha's side. And you should have stood in the middle. Your job is to unite your children, not to chip away at the relationship. But anywho, finally, when Latasha leaves, Miss Gloria came over to lean into Tamika's car. Do y'all recognize what's happening in this scene? Miss Gloria has taken allegiance with Latasha to the point that she cannot show Tamika any type of favor or affection when Latasha is around. That's my opinion. That's what I'm picking up. Now, Miss Gloria didn't realize that although the cameras were not there, or maybe they were in a car, because they put they put cameras in their cars. So even though there may not have been camera equipment visible where she could see, she didn't realize that Mike was still hot. And as Tamika was talking about her frustrations of having her money stolen by her sister and her husband while she was pregnant, her mother did not deny the accusations when she thought the cameras were off. Real quick, another thought occurred to me while all of this was happening. I was kind of going through my brain. I'm like, okay, Miss Gloria, damn, you're just abandoning your daughter in this moment. But then it hit me and I was like, did Latasha pay for her mother's home? Is that why she feels indebted to Latasha? I don't know. It was just a thought that crossed my mind as the scene wrapped up. But I am inclined to believe Tamika about her sister taking her money. It's just too much emotion behind it for it to be false, in my opinion. That hurt and that pain is still lingering. And even in Tamika's confessional, she said the mother still made an excuse regarding Latasha's behavior. And her mother told her, well, you don't know what she was going through at that time. Maybe she needed it. And that really broke Tamika. She's like, really? I'm pregnant. But whatever she was going through mattered than my condition and my state as a woman who's carrying a baby. So in your brain, my sister is more entitled to my wages than I am. Y'all, can we pause on that? Do you not see the toxic manipulation of all of this? And we wonder why we have the problems and the mental health issues that we have in our community. Miss Gloria, I'm going to say it. It's because mothers like yourself that failed their sons and failed their daughters. Rocky seems like he could be a fast talker, like a slick brother, almost kind of like Maurice and Marcel. Now, here's the thing, Rocky. We know, because this is where Latasha was kind of giving him a rundown. And he's like, well, how did my name come up? Boy, stop. You know how your name came up. Number one, your name came up because you're her manager. You're married to her. And both of you have probably done some shady stuff. That's how your name came up. But anywho, he's saying that, well, he's not going to address the enemy, you know. But here's the thing, Rocky. We know that you are quite capable of being deceitful and deceptive. Did you or did you not have an affair? And an outside child outside of your marriage? Can you answer that for us? Because to me, that's very telling regarding the type of behaviors that you're capable of. So I wouldn't put it past you, sir, to have cashed that check. Talking about you don't have to defend the truth. Yeah, we're going to need you to defend that rumor about you having a baby. Yeah, we need you to defend that because the girl came out and said that you and her have been together for many years. And she's so confident she spoke on your wife, which is where I feel like a lot of these broads go wrong, saying I don't have a problem with Latasha. Excuse me, miss. As you should not. But, okay, Rocky, can you address that? They go back to Miss Gloria. It's like they're jumping in between scenes. So they go back to Miss Gloria. No, it wasn't. That was Latasha who said that. So she's continuing to give Rocky play by play. And it really made me uncomfortable because she said her sister seemed to be really aggressive and possessed. Very interesting words. But Latasha, it's called passionate. You're not going to play with us today. You're not going to sit here and pretend on television that you don't understand why your sister feels the way that she does. Miss Gloria, and I really feel bad for Tamika. And I think maybe that's sometimes why people label black women as having an angry black woman syndrome, because sometimes women have dealt with so much in these black households and these families, y'all, that they've had to be hard, and they show up with this outer layer that's perceived as being intimidating and having an attitude, but they've had to deal with so much by way of their own family. So no wonder why they show up hardcore in the world and can't trust anybody. Because if you can't trust your mother to protect you, who can you trust? And it sounds like, in my opinion, that Tamika wasn't allowed. She was not allowed to establish her own identity. And Miss Gloria, you come across as manipulating her into submission in return for your affection. And that's something that your child should receive freely from you. That's really sad. My heart kind of hurts for Tamika. But I hope Tamika doesn't get stuck there. Let's move on. Okay, so let's get into the group coming together to hash things out. They decide they're going to meet at Tiny's house. That's when I thought I heard her say she has 5 homes. Yes. So the women arrive one by one. Latasha arrives a little bit later for the group meetup. Now, here's what I don't understand. And we just talked about this in my members only live coffee chat. As women and as men, we choose how we show up in this world, right? That's on you. Regardless of what you've gone through in life and the hand that you were dealt. When you wake up in the morning and you step outside your home, that's on you, how you choose to show up. Now, Latasha, my question to you is, why would you show up if you really are going to shut down? And here's why I say that. People are watching you, ma'am. Record companies, marketing firms, products, brands, people are watching you. And there could be potential business deals on the table, projects, marketing opportunities. So you really got to check your attitude. Nobody wants to work with an angry woman, let alone an angry black one. You get what I'm saying? So they start the meeting. Y'all, this was chess and not checkers. They start the meeting and they offer to give Latasha the opportunity to take the floor. And she passively declines. And I understood why they offered to let her take the floor. Because in her head, she's the head and not the tail. So it was like strategic for them to say, go ahead and go first. Since you're the one that said, we need to talk. And she says, well, I really don't know where to start. Girl. Anywho, so she declines. At this point, Tamika engages the conversation. And she says, well, let's discuss our management team. We really don't see any real-time results with them. And in this moment, we learned something. I didn't know that their management team were close friends of Rocky's and Latasha's. So no wonder why they had not been booked post versus. Nothing has happened for them. Yeah. That's crazy. Like all of this crazy stuff that's going on. But anywho, would escape. So Latasha gives like a snide remark of having to pray about it. Oh, Lord, Latasha. She gave a good old Baptist excuse. So they jump to a confessional and the producer asked Latasha, what would it take for her and her sister to put this issue to bed? Damn. Rocky Balboa walks his behind in on set and literally tells this woman what to say. I heard y'all talking about it in comments, but I hadn't watched the show yet. I was completely taken aback. I have never witnessed anything like that. Normally, when men are that controlling, they try to hide it. But Rocky ain't trying to hide shit. Rocky has complete and absolute control over this woman. So, I'm watching this exchange, right? As the meeting starts to go a little bit deeper. I'm watching the exchange between Tamika and Latasha. And I'm listening to Tamika. And Tamika says, you're not yourself anymore. And Latasha's looking at her and I'm like, okay, they're saying a lot of stuff, but they're also holding back. And I can't help but to wonder if this is a result of Rocky having an alleged outside child. Like, what's going on, Latasha? What's really going on? So at this point, Latasha, she's done with the meeting. Tiny walks her outside to her car. Now she opens up because she doesn't see the camera on the other side. And basically, she shares a little bit more about her frustration. Tamika, I don't think you're going to win this battle between your mother and your sister. They are locked and loaded, and they are tag teaming you, my friend. Yeah, you're not going to win this battle. Your best bet is just to love them from a distance, because your mother's coming at you from a mother angle. Your sister's coming at you from a big sister angle, and they're both throwing the Bible at you. You're not going to win that one. Now, in one instance, I did appreciate Rocky attempting to nudge Latasha and Candy along. And in that brief moment, he said, listen, you and Candy ain't never really got along. That it is what it is with that. And that's fair. Because Candy and Todd said the same thing. But, ooh, child, the husbands are involved. And Todd blew the lid off the pot. He said, listen, we're not going to talk around this, basically. The problem is Latasha has an issue with who you have become and how her career did not develop in the manner that she thought it should have and could have. Latasha, it is something. You know what? She has tried to go solo many times, but for some reason it has not worked out for her. I'm going to say your manager and also your attitude. There's something going on that just keeps showing up and repeating itself in your life. I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of it as this series continues to unfold. So I'm closely watching Latasha and Rocky as they're having their brunch and celebrating their 27th anniversary. Congratulations, y'all. I'm watching everything. I'm looking at body language. And then it hit me. After 27 years of marriage, I believe Latasha is still trying to win over her husband. She's still, in my opinion, trying to win this man over. And I feel like Rocky may have kept her on her toes throughout this marriage. The way she looks at him, he doesn't return the same look to her. He looks away, and it's almost as if he's avoiding like eye contact to avoid a deep connection outside of a business relationship. Okay? Rocky, everything that comes out of your mouth regarding your wife is strictly business. Rocky reminds me of that shady ass business manager in that movie called Sparkle. That's who he reminds me of. Yeah. So Rocky and Latasha, they go to the Motown gospel place to try to get her a record deal. And I really appreciated those executive producers because they asked some very tough questions. It wasn't like they were going to let her just walk in and slide in there because she's Latasha Scott from Escape. They asked her, why are you here? And she shared that, she really wants music that's relevant and she wants to write. And in that moment, I was like, ding, ding, ding. Maybe Todd is right. Maybe you do feel some kind of way about Candy's career taking off as a writer, as a songwriter, as a singer and play production, all of that, business owner. And you felt like that should have been you because you felt like you were vocally stronger than she was. Okay. And I was like, oh, you want to write. And then the executive producer says, why now? And why solo? And why outside of the group? And she gave a bullshit ass answer regarding that. To me, it wasn't a strong answer. And I felt like they threw her a lifeline and they were like, oh, that's God. And that's your vision. Okay. They were kind of taking it easy on her with that. But I don't know, Latasha. I don't know. I don't know if it's in the, if winning, I don't know if this is your winning season is what I'm trying to say. I think you may impede your own progress if you're not careful. In this moment, when they gave her a compliment, Rocky jumped up. No, actually, let me back up. When they asked her, why solo? Did y'all see the shift in the room on both Rocky and Latasha? Both of their demeanors changed. Rocky actually shifted his body position so that he was facing his wife. It was about his positioning, how he, non-verbally took control of the tone of the room, the narrative without saying a word. And she followed his lead. Now, Rocky jumped up after she sang that little song for them. He jumped up as if she won the lotto, honey. And unfortunately, I am sad to say that Latasha Scott, I feel like your husband is married to the Benjamin.